Hello, I'm Michael.
I'm Sally, and this is Wrestle MSX.
The Viper starts us off. He says he can't trust Cody Rhodes, but it doesn't sit right with him that Cody's teaming up with Roman Reigns at Bad Blood. Orton then asks Cody to come down to the ring to explain himself, which he does. Cody asks Orton if he'd rather be a fool or a coward, because it's foolish to team up with Reigns, but cowardly not to. Rhodes also says he trusts Roman's word and that it's time for the bloodline to come to an end. Rhodes then offers his hand to Orton, who shakes it. The two then get interrupted by Kevin Owens, but just as he's about to speak, the bloodline enter the arena. Solo states to Rhodes that every time he's tried to take the bloodline out with these two, Orton and Owens, they've let him down, and that's why he's teaming up with Reigns. Owens then challenges Solo and Fatu to a tag match later against him and Orton, so something to look forward to.
We see Nia Jax backstage asking Tiffany Stratton to explain how Naomi and Bayley are still here and facing one another to determine who gets a shot at her title. Jax then grabs Stratton by the throat and exclaims that if this ends bad for her, it'll end really bad for you. As Jax leaves though, Stratton looks as if she's had enough. What happened to someone leaving?
I have no idea. Next up, that number one contender's title shot. Bayley against Naomi. Naomi going for the Uno card look. Go and have a look. Naomi is not messing about and attempts to pin Bayley 3 times in the opening minute. Back from the break and Bayley seems to be in control with a back suplex and then dive to the outside. As she gets back in the ring though, she suffers a rear view and a 2 count by Naomi. Naomi then hits a blockbuster from the top rope into a pin but only gets a 2. Naomi counters a Bayley to belly by planting her face first into the second turnbuckle, then goes to the top rope but misses her move. Bayley then hits a Bayley to belly, drops the Macho Man elbow and gets the pin, meaning she'll face Nia Jax at Bad Blood.
Backstage we see Andrade telling LA Knight that he's lost his respect, because Knight wanted to fist bump Andrade last week after their match, whereas Andrade wanted to handshake. Carmelo Hayes then attacks Knight, knocking him over some backstage equipment. He then goads Andrade just before we have part 42 of Andrade versus Hayes.
After Hayes dodged a Meteora from Andrade and Andrade slammed Hayes into the apron, we head for a break. Upon our return, Hayes and Andrade are slapping the hell out of each other until the first 48 gets Hayes a 2 count. Hayes then misses a double knees in the corner, so Andrade shows him how it's done and connects with his own. The resulting cover only gets him a 2 count. Hayes then dodges the message and executes what I can only describe as a springboard DDT. Hayes catching Andrade as he falls to the mat, driving his head into the canvas. I thought this was it, but Andrade had other ideas and kicked out at 2.
We come back from the break with Andrade on the top rope missing his signature moonsault, but hitting his standing moonsault and pinning Hayes for another 2 count. Hayes gets a facebuster, gets a 2 count cover and then decides to go up top for nothing but net. The problem is though, Andrade follows Hayes to the top rope and looks to set up a superplex. As Andrade launches himself and Hayes off the top turnbuckle, Hayes counters the move into a cutter of sorts, covers Andrade and gets a 2. Incredible, looked really good. Andrade then delivers his spinning back elbow, but Hayes rolls out the ring to avoid the cover.
Clever. LA Knight's music then hits. I mean, you didn't think he'd let Hayes attacking him slide, did you? Hayes dives back into the ring. Knight gets on the apron, but Andrade argues with Knight not to intervene. Hayes sees the opportunity, pushes Andrade into Knight and then rolls him up for the victory. Hayes runs back up the rampway as Andrade and Knight argue. Knight then offers Andrade his hand to shake, but Andrade ignores it and leaves the ring. I mean, I'm not surprised after losing. But...
Backstage, we see Kevin Owens and Randy Orton talking about their match later, when Cody Rhodes asks Owens if they can talk. Owens says they can talk later as he's getting ready for his match. Cody again says that they need to talk. Owens says no, not now, we'll talk another time and don't come out later, in case they need help, and storms off. Orton then stands up telling Rhodes that if things take a turn for the worse during their match, he'd love his help.
We're then told that AJ Styles will be back next week on SmackDown, so that's something to look forward to.
Nice. Back to the ring and we have Piper Niven against Michin, with Chelsea Green at ringside, obviously. Niven takes out Michin from the apron with a cannonball before we go to a break. When we come back, Niven is still overpowering Michin until Michin hits a crucifix driver for a 2 count. Michin then kicks out of a huge slam and a Michinoku driver. Niven then cannonballs herself into a bin outside the ring after Michin dodged her. As Niven gets back in the ring, Michin delivers meat defeat and gets the 1-2-3.
Back from the break, and we see Naomi telling Bayley she deserves it, the title shot. Stratton appears and tells Naomi that if she's not doing anything now, she'll have the perfect view of Jax destroying Bayley. Naomi responds by saying she's going to go find Nick Aldis and organise a match between her and Tiffany for next week. And still, nobody's leaving.
Last match of the night, Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. I wonder if this match will have any interference.
Well, stay tuned and find out.
Owens and Fatu go at it before Owens tells Sikoa to suck it. Sikoa holds his hand out for the tag in and Fatu obliges. Solo bests Owens, so Owens tags in Orton. Fatu then holds his hand out to Sikoa. He wants Orton, so Sikoa returns the favour and tags in the werewolf. Orton and Fatu go at it before Fatu sends Orton over the top rope. Fatu follows Orton out the ring but suffers 4 back body drops onto the announcer's table. Solo tries to intervene but suffers the same fate. Back from the break and we see Solo and Owens on the second rope. Owens managing to push Solo down to the mat and hitting a swanton, but Sikoa gets the knees up. Fatu and Solo then give Owens the running butt face in the corner as they single him out. But Owens finally makes the tag to Orton, who then proceeds to powerslam both Sikoa and Fatu before delivering his vintage draping DDT from the middle rope to Sikoa. Orton gets distracted by Fatu as he readies himself for an RKO. This allows Sikoa to hit a Samoan drop on Orton, but he still ends up outside the ring as he goes after Orton, who drops the top rope, Solo spilling out to the floor.
Owens tags back in, drops to the floor and takes out both the Bloodline members with clotheslines and sentons before frog splashing Fatu from the apron. Solo is back in the ring by this time, but Owens deals with him by climbing back on the apron and delivering a kick to him, sending Sikoa down to the mat. Owens then climbs to the top rope and connects with a swanton, the resulting cover getting him a 2 count. Owens gets back up, but then out come the tag champs, Tama and Loa. They distract Owens enough for Solo to hit the spinning solo on Owens, but Owens kicks out on 2. Cody's music then plays and out comes the champ to help. Tonga gets thrown in the ring and eats an RKO. Orton then gets super kicked by Fatu, who then dives out the ring, taking out Rhodes. Solo, now back on his feet, goes for the Samoan spike on Owens. Owens ducks it and stuns Solo. Owens then follows up with the cover. Just before the referee can get down to count though, Fatu throws Rhodes back into the ring and into the ref, knocking him down.
Owens gets up from his pinning position, sees the ref and Rhodes downs and questions what he's doing. Fatu then gets back in the ring and super kicks Owens twice before making a sharp exit. Solo then rolls on Owens and covers him for the win. After the match, Rhodes gets in the ring and tries to explain to Owens what happened. Owens doesn't want to know, aggressively pushing Rhodes away. Rhodes tries again, but Owens isn't interested, and the two men end up butting heads. Orton acts as peacemaker, getting between the two and calming things down. SmackDown goes off the air with Owens and Rhodes hugging it out. Ish. It all seems rosy for now.
That is kicking off down the line.
Definitely.
Anyway, thank you again for watching.
We'll see you next week for Raw, predictions, SmackDown, and a PLE review.
It's a busy week then.